Kristen, great having you. Appreciate you being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, you are the Mid-Atlantic Regional Director for Inter-Fluve,
Yep.
and you're also a founding member of our new key executive group.
Mhm.
So that's exciting. We have 8 people right now, been growing, and these are all direct reports to CEOs. So it's great having you with us. And so I've just got some questions for you about you, your role, and your experience with Vistage. That sounds okay?
That sounds great.
Good, good. So tell us a bit about yourself. What led you to the water engineering industry that you're in? Tell us a bit about Inter-Fluve.
Yeah. So, a bit about me. I grew up in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, on the water, and loved water. Followed that kind of interest to the University of Delaware. Was on the rowing team there. Kind of staying in that water realm while pursuing a civil engineering degree. Was coming out in 2007 when the economy wasn't great for a lot of industries. And so went to grad school, got my master's and PhD at the University of Virginia, studying, the civil environmental engineering department, studying river processes and particularly dam removal. Getting ready to graduate in 2013, and I wanted to find the company that I thought was doing the best and the coolest dam removal projects in the United States, and that was Inter-Fluve, and I've been with them since 2013.
Oh, that's exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
And so what roles have you had there, and what role are you in now?
Yeah, so I started as, a traditional staff level engineer, doing survey work, building hydraulic models, kind of your traditional kind of product engineer. And then eventually, did enough projects, got my PE license, began doing more of that QA/QC project management type work within Inter-Fluve as well. And then most recently have been continuing to build the business development portion of my current role, in addition to the project management and technical components.
Great, great. And this is a newly formed position, right? So you're new in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So we have offices in Hood River, Oregon, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Madison, Wisconsin, St. Paul, Minnesota, and Damascotta, Maine, and which are all, a little bit more northern. And, like I said, I'm from Rehoboth, wanted to be back in the Mid-Atlantic. I think there's a lot of opportunity for the river and estuary restoration field in this area. And I'm thrilled that Inter-Fluve was willing to support me in kind of expanding our efforts down here.
Great. Well, that's great. So how is it you heard about Vistage, and what led you to join, and in particular, key executive group?
Yeah, so our CEO sits in our St. Paul office, and
Okay.
he's a member of a CEO group out there. And then a colleague of mine, who's a regional director out of our Cambridge, Massachusetts office, which is where I started, he's a member of a key executive group in the Cambridge, Boston area.
Okay.
And he actually, over the past year or so, they do a lot of virtual presentations as well. And so he's invited me to join a lot of their speakers when they've had them over the course of the year. And so I've been able to drop in on a lot of really interesting conversations and presentations. And so, was looking to engage in a more formal way in my area.
Great. Well, and as you know, we'll be bringing in 7 speakers a year to our groups, and our first speaker for your group was last week, and wow, what a home run he was. It was
very engaging and interesting, and a lot of the talking points about company culture and how to integrate them. We've already I've reached out to our HR point person and some other regional directors on how we can get some of this implemented, throughout our company as well. And just keeping it top of mind for folks, because, it's easy to get busy with your day to day and not think kind of about the big picture and where we're going and what we're doing. And so it was a nice reminder to prioritize that.
Yeah. wonderful. So I know it's early on, but what expectations do you have for this group, and what's been your experience so far?
Yeah. Expectations, I think just, as an engineer, most of my education and training has been very specialized in the technical portion of my day-to-day job. But I don't feel like I had as much formal training in the business, kind of running the business, growing the business. A lot of that's been kind of just growth and learning through my colleagues and learning, through reading books and that sort of thing. But having a formal group to work with and to continue to grow those skills, I'm really kind of looking forward to engaging in that way. And that's kind of how I see uh, the big benefit of this group to me.
Good, good, good. Well, we will hold that as our goal and aspiration to deliver. So that's great. Um, One of the big questions people have, and especially given you have a colleague who's in a key executive group and a CEO, your boss, who's in a chief executive group. Um, One of the big questions is time, and we're all busy. We're all So how have you approached time? Being able to manage your time for an all-day full commitment meeting, especially given you're traveling quite a ways to attend.
hmm Yeah, I think it just takes some pre-planning. Often I'm in the field for periods of time or at conferences or that sort of thing. So it's not atypical for me to be away from my desk for a day or two. Um, that being said, it does take planning. The day beforehand, in this case on Mondays, I'll make a point list, reach out to my clients that I think might be contacting me and just say, here's your point person. If you need something tomorrow, reach out to them or shoot me a text. And we've had, in our meeting last month, we had, those breaks every 2 hours or so to check in on emails if there really is a catastrophe. But for the most part, it's just a matter of identifying a point person and getting ahead of it with your clients to be like, I'm going to be out for a day or whatever that iteration is, and just kind of seeing if they foresee any questions and trying to get ahead of it or digging out on the back end. And you mentioned my car ride. So I have a long car ride, but I also have a lot of my colleagues are on the West Coast time zone. So the whole ride back, they're still in working hours. So I'm able to connect on anything over the phone, which is, it kind of is also a help.
Wonderful. No, that's great. Well, I appreciate you making the time and being there. One of the analogies I like to use with many of our members, many of whom played sports, either high school or college level sports, is think of it as a game day. It's a day where it's critical to have your head in the game, and it's obviously critical to be there physically and be there and be really present. And I really appreciate you and all of our members for doing that and really making a game day. So. So that analogy seems to work for folks.
Yeah.
So as you think about prospective members, and we are growing this group, so we may very well be talking here to some potential members of your key executive group, what advice would you provide someone who's contemplating whether they should join a key executive group? What are some of the key things that you would have them keep in mind?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the perks is kind of this passive learning process. You mentioned you set up 7 speakers, and all we really need to do is show up, right? We don't have to identify like, oh, I need to be working more on learning about AI. I need to attend these webinars and have to kind of find the speakers on our own and engage in those processes and even identify the portion of our businesses that may need some special attention. So I think for me, and frankly, with everything, you tend to gravitate towards the things you like. And so I think by just showing up and having a set, schedule of speakers that may or may not have been who I had initially chosen, it, kind of forces me to learn things that I may not have picked up on my own, but then it also allows me just to kind of learn it and not have to, listen to 3 bad webinars before I get to a good one or anything like that, because the speakers are vetted and have done a number of other presentations for Vistage. So they kind of get the program, which is nice.
Wonderful. No, great. Well, it's great having you, and I hope some folks are even more intrigued now and will contact us about Key Executive Group. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're just beginning. So thanks for taking some time with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's nice to see you again.
Okay. Bye-bye.